Brennan Johnson is wanted by Everton and West Ham. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. In today's video, we're going to be, I can't even keep a straight face, talking about Jono being wanted by Everton and West Ham. We'll give you a quick update on Hendo as it looks like a price may have been set. Coady, a defender linked to Nottingham Forest, will cover on that as well. And is Lodi now interested in remaining at Nottingham Forest? So much to discuss. Before we do all that, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here to Forest Fan TV, and make sure you go and check our news on all Premier Leagues on FFTV High Press. Link is in the description below. Please go and subscribe to that as we will be covering the whole transfer window this summer. Let's get into this and let's start with the Wonder Kid. So it comes as no surprise that Brennan Johnson is wanted. But really West Ham? Really Everton? Jace, Lawless, Mike, if you're watching this, don't get excited. Don't get excited. We've seen links like this before. I remember last year, or now do we have to say the year before that, when we were in the Championship. Yes, Leicester, enjoy that word. When Brennan Johnson was linked to Brentford, and it was for about 20 million, if memory serves me correct. And now the link is for in and around 40. So in a year, his price has doubled. And Forest have made it crystal clear before the season ended that if anyone was approaching Brennan Johnson, he is not for sale. Because Steve Cooper loves him. I love him, you guys love him, and the team is most likely going to be built around the likes of him and Morgan Gibbs-White. Therefore, it would be stupid to sell him right now as he is still so young. Look what he's done in 1 year in the Premier League. The guy who was playing at Lincoln a couple of seasons ago got Forest promoted, or should I say played a major role in that, and then got those great goals he did this season. And he still has so much development to go. He hasn't even begun to be towards his full potential. And that is exciting in itself. So it should come as no surprise. I would be insulted if teams weren't interested in Brennan Johnson. We do a lot of collabs with a lot of YouTube creators up and down the Premier League. And when you ask them about which players they would want in their team from Forest, they all say the same thing. Morgan Gibbs-White and Brennan Johnson. So actually, let's go a step further. I'm insulted that it's only West Ham and Everton who have already shown an interest in him. I would expect some proper clubs to have shown an interest, but the summer is still young. Look, joking aside, is there a chance Brennan Johnson could be sold? Let's be honest, every player has his price. If someone was to come in for 100 million or 80 million or something, crazy money, then I think Forest would probably consider it, and Brennan Johnson himself would consider it. But is that likely to happen? We don't know. Football's a crazy world when it comes to the summer transfer window, but he does have a lot of admirers. The thing is, for Brennan Johnson's progression, I think he's better off suited at Nottingham Forest. Let's say he was to go to an Arsenal, for example. In that right-wing position, they currently play Saka, who has been quite poor over the last few weeks of the Premier League season. But let's assume Saka returns to normal form. Where would Brennan Johnson fit into a team like that? He would probably be a bench warmer and an impact sub towards the end of the game. And is that really going to help to progress and develop him? So from his perspective, the better option is to be the big fish in a big pond, aka Forest, and therefore develop on the pitch with a manager who has complete trust in him, who will use him and try to utilize him and develop him to the best of his strengths. Look, whatever I think about Cooper's tactics and his substitutions, one thing you can't take from Cooper is that he is brilliant at developing young talent. It's something he's done throughout his short career so far, back from his England days into his Swansea days and into his Forest days. And what I love about him is he's not afraid to chuck youth onto the pitch and give them their chance. If you're good enough, you're old enough. That old saying, and that is heavily true with Steve Cooper. So going back to the story, do I actually believe there's any credit in this one? 100% I do. As I mentioned, I'd be insulted if clubs weren't interested in Brennan. However, is there any chance that he would go for 40 million? No way in hell, as far as I'm concerned. What do you guys think? And would any of you contemplate selling Brennan Johnson if the price was right? And if the price is right, what is that price for you? Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, from players linked out to players linked in, let's talk about Connor Cody, the 30-year-old who is owned by Wolves and loaned out to Everton this season, who had an option to buy of 4.5 mil. However, they have declined that option and he is on his way back home to the Midlands. Come Forest and come the links to him. There is definitely a feel at the moment that there are lots of links for 30-plus-year-old centre-backs with Nottingham Forest. We've mentioned a few previously to you, and I don't know about this one. Is Connor Cody a good defender? Yes, he is. But if he couldn't really cut it at Everton, and Everton are a smaller club than Forest, then why would we have their sloppy seconds, is my stance on this. Do I rate him? Yes. Do I think he's probably got a year or two left in him? Probably. 2 years ago, I'd have definitely taken him. He was at the heights of his power, playing really well and progressing forward. I just don't think he's the right fit right now. I want more youthful setup in our team, especially in the defence. We've already got Felipe, the Rolls Royce. You've got the likes of Bolly, who's into his 30s as well. And then obviously Niakate, Worrell and McKenna. But what I would like to see is some young centre-backs coming in from the German league, because I strongly believe it's a hotbed of great centre-back talent in that German league that we could bring in. Niakate is the prime example for that. Coming in from Mainz last season, look how great he's been, as I predicted in the summer transfer window last season. And there are a few more Niakate-like players in that Bundesliga. That's where we should be doing our recruitment from. I think some of the best players we picked up from in the summer window last season were from the Bundesliga. If you look at Mangala, he's been fantastic. Niakate, as we've already mentioned, and Awani, who scored all the goals that he has despite his injuries. The talent in the Bundesliga is there to be had. And they actually sell their players at a respectable price. So for me, personally, for 4.5, 4 million, whatever it may be for Cody, I'm not that interested, but I don't think he's that bad. But he's not the profile that I would be looking to recruit because of the age, because we've already got some senior centre backs in there. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's move on and give you some updates on some ongoing transfers. And the Dean Henderson one, which we told you yesterday, Romano has confirmed as being very close, seems to be negotiating very well. The price looks like it's going to be set in and around 20 million, which is 10 million less than the asking price that Manchester United wanted for Henderson. And I think 20 million is the sweet spot on this deal. This should have been a loan to buy option for me back last summer, but hey ho, you can't rewrite the past. But what we may find is that 20 million could be, if Forest are clever about this, 15 million up front with 5 million in add-ons, maybe easy add-ons, things like that. 20 million for a goalkeeper of Henderson's quality, I think is fantastic business. Now, I know there is still a lot of people who are saying it's too much to spend on a goalkeeper. Go get Livakovic for 10 million with his release fee clause. I get that. But you can never tell for sure when you bring a new player in how they'll react into the new club, what they'll be like, etc. What we do know for sure with Henderson is one, he's bought into the ethics of Forest. He's bought in to the fan base. Most of the fan base do love him. And we've already tested him for a year. And for me, he's passed that test. Yes, there is the issue with his injury. He may not even be back fit for the start of the pre-season, but we will have to see how that goes. But apparently, he should be fit. Let's hope they recruit ahead of medical in the summer. That would definitely help. Look, joking aside, I really like this signing. I'm actually getting very excited by the names I'm seeing in this transfer window so far. And if we can pull these off is going to be a fantastic window. On Lodi, Lodi now seems to be keen on the move to Nottingham Forest. It was never Lodi that wasn't keen on the move. It was always going to be his wife with the new kid they've had, etc. So it looks like those conversations between partner, husband and wife, I'm not sure if they're married, let's assume they are, have happened. And now there is a chance that Lodi will be coming. On top of that, Atletico Madrid are willing to drop their asking price from the 30 million down some. We don't know what that is yet, but as soon as we do, of course, we will bring it to you. So things are looking extremely positive. This window is shaping up to be an excellent one. And don't you guys say Jinxerine in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on all the news so far. Before you leave, as always, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you're enjoying the Forest transfer news, the summer has barely begun. The window isn't even open yet. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new here. And go and subscribe to our new channel for FFTV High Press. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And come on, you Reds.